Alrighty, thank you for tuning into our very first episode. So, on this episode, if you listen to the introduction, we did talk about how long we've been friends, and also while being friends, we fell out.
We broke up.
I've broken up with my friend. Which that happens very often in all friendships, not just us. Y'all have some where y'all broken up with y'all friends as well too, and it hurts.
Yeah, it's like people do not realize like friend breakups be hurting like you really broke up with your man. Like
Yes, one of my biggest things are it'll be a major event, like maybe you finally got your degree, and you want to run and tell this person, but you're like, oh shoot,
we not talking. Like
that's not my go-to anymore. I can't tell him. Or, oh, I want to say this. And it could even be a year later. Like, something happens and you're like, oh my gosh, I know this person would feel exactly where I'm coming from or have that excitement. But
physically.
I can't tell them because they don't care anymore.
But see, I'm petty, and I can honestly say there's stuff that, like with Raven, I know for a fact like this is one of my forever friends. So I can be really stubborn when it comes to just not talking to her if we get into it, and I'm petty enough to where like if it's something I want to tell her, but I'm not gonna call and tell her because we're not speaking. I'll screenshot it, and when we start talking, when we start talking again, I'll be like, okay, I need to tell her.
Let me update you on this. This happened. So I will say this too. I'm petty, but not to that extent. So sometimes I will put things on social media because I wanted to run back and tell you, or if we have mutual friends, I'm gonna tell them because of course friends will still update you like, oh yeah, did you know da da da, like just sharing the good news. So I want you to hear it. You might not hear it straight from me, but I want you to hear it. However, I do miss hearing your exact thoughts, like because you could even tell someone, oh well, that's good. But really, like, bitch, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah,
You did
exactly.
that shit. Like, I know how long it took you. Whatever. So, why would you say friendships break up?
Um, I definitely feel like a lot of friendships break up because of the same reason regular relationships break up. Like whether it's communication, it's trust. Like I said, with us, I feel like there are times where we're being stubborn and we don't communicate. Something will happen, and in at not actuality, it doesn't be like one of us really trying to wrong the other person. Um, we'll feel some type of way and we don't say anything, and then it'll go months at a time, and once we finally do discuss it, it's like, okay, well, I can see where you're coming from and you can see where I'm coming from, like, and it doesn't be as big of a deal, or not saying it's not a big deal, but like for it to be months that we didn't speak is something we could have discussed. So I would definitely say I feel like friendships break up for the same reason, like
Yeah. Also, too, I will say this: some friendships you just outgrow people.
yeah.
Which that's hard too because I love you. It's just that we're on two different paths, and I have to let that go, or I have to love you from a distance.
Exactly. I was just going to say, love you from afar. Like, there are people that have been in my life that I felt like, like, I fuck with you, I love you, but like,
Exactly.
I can't have you around me. Like, whether it's your energy, whether it's the type of things you're doing, like, whether like if you're still being reckless and crazy like we were when we were,
Yeah.
from high school to our early 20s, like,
Because I'm not that same Raven
exactly.
anymore.
I
Like
and
I'm not the same Raven from last year to this year.
You're
Like
not
I'm
the same
constantly,
Raven from last night, okay?
like I'm constantly evolving. And if you're stuck way back then, like I love you, but I can't. You know what I'm saying?
Like I just can't. I can't deal with it.
Yeah, I'm still rooting for you, but just from over here.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm always gonna and I tell people this all the time. Like if you ever love someone, you're gonna really love them. You're gonna love them forever.
Correct. I agree.
I might not be able to deal with you, speak to you, like any of that. But if I ever had any type of love for you, like I'm gonna love you forever. So, yeah, I'm never like hoping on someone's downfall because we're not speaking. It's just I just know how I gotta handle you. I even feel like there's people that I may still speak to, but I just know I can't do or say certain things around you, or I can't welcome you into my home.
Yeah.
Like I might have to just see you at a restaurant or something. Like we might just have to meet up. Like just depends on whatever they're on. Like some people I just have to handle differently.
Oh, agreed. And then also as well, when you have friendships, I like to say, kind of like MySpace. You had top 5. And every week you were changing your top 5. Number 5 will be number 1, or whatever the case is. That's really how it is in life. People roles change in your life, and they could still be your friend. You could go from best friend to just a friend, from friend to best friend, friend to associate, friend to cordial. Like, you all have these different parts. And one thing that I've realized is I have to know what role I play in your life. Because if I'm constantly putting you as number 1, I'm thinking you're going to give me that same energy. And when you don't, that hurts.
Yeah.
So.
And I definitely had to learn, like, you can't expect the same things from different people. You can't expect people to move how you move. I definitely was telling my boyfriend, like, at this time in my life, I only surround myself with people that I feel like are going to be on the same type of stuff as me. Like, I can expect from them the type of love or energy or support that they give me. I can expect that from them because those are the type of people that I hang around. Like, just those are the type of people I'm willing to spill my business to or talk to.
That's another thing. Versus Raven when I was 20 versus 30, I'm not telling everybody my business. Like, everyone doesn't need to know versus, I don't care, which I still have a I don't care personality. However, some things everybody doesn't need to know.
Girl, it's funny because I actually thought you was talking about me. And disclaimer real quick, I lost my voice 2 days ago. So this is not my regular voice. You can stay tuned for that on another episode.
And do the comparison.
But I thought you were talking about when you were saying, like, Raven, you were 20 and Raven. Because, I'm the same way.
It's the same.
Yeah, it's definitely the same. And I can honestly say, like, different people I tell different things to. You, however, is somebody I pretty much trust to tell everything to. Even when we weren't speaking, like, again, I feel like you're my forever friends. I was telling my boyfriend, I was like, you know what? Like, Raven, like, that's my diary. Like, stuff that I would normally tell to her, like, I just be holding that shit in because I don't have her to tell to. And I do have a best friend, and I do talk to my best friend a lot. However, she has her own life as well. So I don't know how in the world Raven does it, but she manages to talk to everybody, be there for everybody, be at everybody's fucking events. I swear her days last longer than everybody else. She don't have the regular 24 hours because she manages to make it happen. Like,
which I don't know is I asked God, like, hey, make it seem like I have 24 hours, but give me 48 in that 24 hours.
No,
so that's
how she make it happen. Like, I be waking up and I'm trying to, like, get my kids together, and she's done like 50 things already that day, and I'm like, how? Like, our kids go to the same day in school. Like, how you done drop them off at school and you done managed to, like, do 50 things before you clocked in at work? Like, I don't know. I don't know how she do it.
Trust me. I really, like we were saying the other day, we have our love languages. My love language is quality time. So because that's what I like, I also try to give that to others because I'm like, how are you going to want that from others? Even though we all receive love differently, at least let me do that part.
But you do tend to give love the way you receive it. So,
yes.
And with quality time is in my top 2. So I can honestly say, like, I do try to, like, do that same thing. But my top love language is acts of service. So when people need me to be there, I go above and beyond to try to make sure I can be there, or make sure I can do it. So I definitely feel that. However, sometimes it's just not enough time in the day. And I don't know where you get your time from. So
sometimes it's not. But one thing you had just said as well, too, is, like, the kids going to the same school and stuff like that. So another thing I think is hard with friendship breakups are when you run within the same circle and you have to go to an event and you have to see someone. You have to, like, are we not speaking? Or I'm not acknowledging that you're here, or it's the dry high. Like, when really it's very awkward. Like, I don't want to be awkward or whatever. And then as well, I'm petty too. Let me stop liking your posts on Facebook and Instagram and all that because you're not getting no love. I think I've gotten better, though. I'll like a couple here and there. It's not all of that, but I'll unfollow you. I've never been the type to block or, like, I think that's childish.
But see, I'm petty enough to like your post because, nigga, you're not going to forget about me. Like, so I'll be scrolling past and I'll be like, like.
You like mine? Like, you say me specifically?
Yes.
Girl,
when we weren't talking before you unfollowed me. And matter of fact, even when you unfollowed me, I was still following you. So, like, when you popped up in my newsfeed, like, I would like it, like, because you're not going to forget about me. Bitch, I'm still here.
That is funny. I'm still still here.
Yes, exactly.
That's funny.
So, yeah, no, I'm petty, I guess, in a different way. But yeah, like you said about being awkward, like, you know, there were times like our girls like dance together on a school dance team. Like there's times, you know, performances and stuff. Like I can even say like my daughter has brought up like, you know, when y'all weren't talking, basically like I be wanting to like go over there, but like, I don't know if that's okay or whatever.
Yeah.
And I told her I was like, Raven's not like that. Like if you want to go over there, like that has nothing to do with me. Like if you've been in my kid's life pretty much her whole life, like
yeah. Now that's what sucks as well too, is that just like a romantic relationship, when you have that friendship relationship, those kids are involved. And so when you guys aren't talking, they notice that. Because I have someone as well, like I was saying, you change different positions. We don't have any beef when we see each other, we talk, but we're not hanging out, we're not calling each other. And Destiny has asked me like, oh, you still cool with her? I'm like, yeah, but I can't let you know like, yes, I'm still cool with her, but just not like that. Like, I'm just like, yes.
Girl, so I won't say who, but I would say a friend of ours, their daughter, she'll know who, when she sees this, she'll know who I'm talking about. Their daughter goes to school with our kids too. And she was like, when we weren't speaking, she was like, yeah, why you and Raven not talking? Like, and I was like, how you know we not talking? And she was like, y'all not friends, right? And I was like, yes, we are. And she was like, well, I didn't think y'all was friends because, like, I was like, we're friends. We always gonna be friends. Like, but yeah, she definitely called me on it. And I was like,
yeah. And people are bold and people are nosy, and we are nosy too. However, I'm nosy to where you're not gonna know, but you just go come up and ask, like,
girl, it was a kid, you know, they don't care.
Oh, okay, well, kids, that's different.
Yeah. So yeah, like, yeah, kids be bold. They don't care.
They don't.
So yeah, she definitely approached me and was like, "Y'all not friends, right?" Like, I was like, no, we cool.
We're gonna talk about this later.
Exactly. Like, but she definitely like just caught me on it at a point where I was like,
yeah. And I mean, even though they're a kid, they're still human. Because people notice it too. Like, oh, I don't notice y'all tagging each other anymore on Facebook, or the pictures have decreased. Y'all, like, you know.
Yeah, or I didn't see you when, because of course when we hang out, like majority of the time our kids are hanging out. So, yeah, I mean they notice like that my kid isn't around as much or whatever. And then it's like that awkward thing of like, okay, my daughter does want to hang out with, you know, your kids, and it's like, do I call you? Like, or do I send her to call you? Like, it's just, it's awkward.
So, however, even with that being said as well, so if it's the daughter's birthday or, you know, the child's birthday or whatever, and you don't show love, I'm going to be like, oh, so you're not showing love, so now you beefing with my child because we're not talking? Like, the child had nothing to do with it. So it's, like, very, like, walking on eggshells.
Yeah. But as you know, like, again, even when we weren't speaking, like, when your youngest was, you know, not, you know, as a big girl as she was, and then when we weren't speaking, like, I walk up and, like, grab her, like, okay, we're not really talking, but I'm finna grab her, I'm finna walk away, like, because, again, I still love your kids. Like, I still love you. I'm just, you know, we're not speaking at the time. So
yeah. As well as I will say this, too, another thing is sometimes things are too heated to talk at the moment, and I feel as though that can cause it to where you don't talk, because it's like, let me calm down. Then you're like, let me calm down. And then it's like, well, it's been 3 months already.
Yeah, because we also, our attitudes are both pretty bad. Like I said, being prideful, being stubborn. So what might normally take someone else like a few days to calm down, we're going to take it there. And then, like, the more I think about it, like, it makes me, like, mad all over again. It's like, I'm thinking about it, I done got mad, and then on top of it, like, okay, so you still not speak to me? Like, and that makes me even more mad. Like, so, like I said, it's just, I don't know, it's crazy. Like, and I don't think people realize, like, how much of a effect friend breakups, like, have on them.
Yeah, because I think everybody tries to act tough. Like, I came in this world by myself, or I'm one deep, I don't need nobody, I'm not losing no sleep over no friend. You might not literally lose sleep over a friend, but you can't tell me that friend's not crossing your mind. You're not thinking, like, are they okay? Or even if y'all are still friends on social media, like, dang, they look cute, but I can't like their photo because we're not talking.
Yeah, like, it can be anything. Like, again, when we weren't speaking, like, she loves sunflowers, so, like, anytime I see, like, any type of sunflower or anything, I'm like, oh, like, and I'm like, oh, whatever. Like, like, I'm not finna reach out to her. I'm not finna anything
and
like that.
And see, I will say this. This has never happened, but it just crossed my mind. So we were just saying how they're similar to breakups with a boyfriend. If it was a dude, and he knows you like sunflowers, y'all not talking, he would buy it and send it to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that would probably break the ice and like, okay, why friends don't do that? Like,
I don't know. Like I said, I know that we can be petty. Like, I mean, we can be, I'm just like prideful and stubborn just because there were times that I probably should have reached out to you. Like, even times that I'm telling my boyfriend about you and like really just going into details about like who you are, what you meant to me, like, or mean to me. Just all of this, like, and really getting in my feelings. And those are times, like, I really could have just been like, you know what, fuck it, I'm finished.
But it's also scary, too, because, hey, I'm going to reach out. What if you be like, bitch, what the fuck you on my phone for?
Like,
I don't fuck with you. Like,
and I don't like rejection. Like, let me
I don't like rejection either.
Yeah, I can honestly say that's something I'd be nervous about. Like, because I miss you, like, I'm in my feelings or whatever. I hit you up, bro. If you turn me down, I'm finna be mad.
Yes. Like, so I'll say this. I remember you and a friend, y'all had fell out, and y'all didn't talk for a couple months, I think like 3 months. And they had just made a post, like, on Facebook and was like, I miss you. Yeah. And y'all started back talking. Yeah. That was so simple. It was publicized, and you could have easily been like.
And yeah, we weren't friends. We weren't friends on Facebook either.
Oh, y'all weren't Facebook?
She basically says, someone tell Raven.
You're right. She did say that.
And next thing I know, my inbox was like blowing up like, oh, she said hit you up, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Yeah, and speaking of, like, that's a friendship breakup that hurt. Like, it did cause me to gain another friend. Like, however, that was one that hurts. And Facebook be having no mercy. Neither on these Snapchat. Memories. Bruh, what? Like, them memories be driving me crazy. Like, yeah. Don't you know how to talk to them? Like, you don't see we not friends on Facebook?
Okay.
Don't remind me. Yes. Don't remind me. No. Like, bro, she's blocked or I'm blocked. One of those. Like, why you still telling me about her? Like, her name grayed out and everything, and you gonna just.
I didn't know it got to that level.
No, I didn't block anybody, but I was blocked. Still don't know why, but I was blocked. Okay. But yeah, like, that's a friendship that, like, that breakup hurt. Like I said, in the process, I did gain another friend, a very good friend, my best friend. But yeah, like, it don't change how I feel. Yeah. Like, and I don't know how people be saying, like, oh, like, that didn't matter to me or that didn't bother me. Like, fuck her. Like, and it's just like, bro, no.
No. And if you feel that way, then y'all weren't really friends.
Exactly.
I can honestly say that.
Because there's no way I'm just, like, I can just move on. Like, we didn't have all these memories together. Like, and again, when you spend a lot of time with someone, whether a friend, a boyfriend, a parent, like, you spend a lot of time with someone, it's hard for things to not remind you of them. It could be something so freaking simple. Like, it don't have to be. Look at that
blue car.
Yes,
she had a blue car.
Yeah, like, she had a blue car.
All right, you'll pass up a Pappadeaux. We went to Pappadeaux one time.
Yes,
it'll be
like,
little things.
It could be anything. Like, it literally anything. Like, I don't know, it's crazy. Like, even having, like, articles of clothing from this person. Like, oh, they left this at my house. Like, and again, I'm not in my first, like, I am petty. So, like, my first mind would be like, fuck her, I'm gonna throw this shit away. Like, and then I fold it up or hang it up, like, and put it away. But yeah, I'd be mad, I'd be petty. But, like, at the end of the day, I have to even tell my boyfriend, like, everybody needs somebody.
We all do.
Cause he big on, like, you know,
I
don't need nobody like this. I'm like,
you need him.
It don't matter, like, how simple it is, but, like, everyone needs someone. Like, even if it's not on a regular basis. You can't tell me, like, I've been one deep this whole time. Like, somebody has helped you out. Like, in any type of way. Whether it's, oh, you didn't have no car, like, and someone gave you a ride. Like, yeah, you gave them gas money, but
you would have never,
you a ride. Like, exactly. You would have, whatever the case is, like, even if it's, I mean, I know I done hit you up before saying, like, I only got cash. I don't have money on my card, or I don't have money on this card. Like, I need to use this card. Can I give you cash and you, like, send it to me? Those things have happened, like, regardless if you want to admit it, that's me needing you. That's me needing something from you. And I think people just really don't realize, like, when they feel like something is really minor, like, you're still needing someone. Like, no matter how major or minor it is, like, I don't know. And then those people that are always there for you, like, if you lose that person, yeah, you feel it. You have to.
You're going to. You have no choice.
I don't know what type of people be dead inside to where they just don't notice that shit. But
see, I'm a social person, so I know I need people. Not only that, like you said, I have so many groups of friends. So sometimes, of course, I'm gonna, like, we'll have disagreements. Not to say we're gonna fall out, but hey, was I tripping? Yeah, you were tripping. Oh, okay, how? Oh, okay. Now I can kind of see it from that point of view. Versus, it's just me and the person. My opinion is right and yours is wrong.
Yeah.
You know, you need that.
And see, it's crazy. I was even telling my boyfriend, like, because I do that. Like, I'll tell you about a situation or my best friend because I'll be wanting to know. Because I know my attitude bad. I know I can trip about some stuff. So I be definitely just wanting to check. Like, there's some things that happen. I'm like, oh, I know I wasn't tripping. Like, I don't really need that, like, somebody to back me up on it or tell me. But sometimes the person you're arguing with, they'll make it seem like you just really out of line. So sometimes I just be needing that. Well, I can't think of the word I'm saying. That clarification.
Okay.
Like, so yeah, because I mean, you know, I'll hit you up in a second. Like,
Yeah.
Girl, this happened. This is what I did. Like, how do you feel about it?
So let me ask you this: when is the last time you've had a friendship breakup?
I don't know. We'll probably say us.
Okay. So I'm the type of person I always like to learn things, as well as like we're saying, we're not 20, we're not 30, and we didn't talk for like 2 years, so we were still in our 20s, but we're 30 now. So what have you learned from that going forward to avoid that with any other friends?
Like I said, we were in our 20s when like that happened, and in all honesty, I really think I was going through a lot, like a lot, and you know, a lot of the things I was going through. And some of them you actually didn't. Like, some of them I actually really was trying to, like, just wrap my head around. And I lost a lot of friends at that time. Like, some of that was a good thing. Like, I never tried to, like, restore those friendships. And I don't, at this point, feel like I need to. However, you know, I used to always, like, close off. Like, if I'm going through something, like, people can be texting me, they could be blowing me up, like, I'm not finna answer it. I'm not about to text back. And I don't know, I feel like I'm older now, and I've really learned to communicate things. Like, I used to always say I was really blunt, and I spoke my mind, but I was blunt and I spoke my mind when I chose to.
Yes.
I would, like, when it wasn't convenient for me, I wouldn't do it. And again, I feel like that played a big part in why we stopped talking. Like, regardless of the situation, if I would have spoke my mind and said how I felt, it wouldn't have, I don't feel like it would have lasted as long as it did.
Oh, no, I agree. I can also say I can see the difference because you just recently went through something and you hit me up like, hey, I don't feel like talking right now, but I'm going to hit you up when I feel like talking. Cool. Like, I'm not going to press you.
Is I got that from you. Like, not that you told me that. Well, you probably have. But, like, years ago, like, she was probably early 20s, but when I first used to, like, close off and stuff like that, you got mad and you was going off on me one day, like, because even though I'm closing off and I'm not really talking to anyone because I don't want conversation, I would be, like, scrolling on Facebook or Instagram or something, like, and your ass literally called me on it. Y'all, Raven is FBI, I don't care what she said. So I didn't even know Instagram could do this at the time. Like I said, this is early 20s, we're 30. Basically, she sent me a screenshot after me not responding to her, and it was like, Raven likes 3 posts, and it showed me, like, what 3 posts are. Like, she was like, oh, so you on Instagram liking shit, but you're not texting me back. I was like, what the fuck?
I was known for that.
I was like, what the fuck? Like, so, basically, I said something back to her. We ended up having a conversation about it, and she basically said, okay, well, that's cool, like, if that's how you feel. If you don't want to talk right now, like, you can let me know that. And I didn't do that with a lot of people. However, I was like, you know what, this is what Raven needs from me, so when it come down to it, like, I'm at least let her know I don't want to talk at the moment, or I'm not feeling like having a conversation at the moment. So I did get that from you.
It's funny because even though you're saying I did that, which I know I did, I just recently learned I don't like to be ignored.
Yeah, me
like,
either.
When I feel as though people are ignoring me, I'm just like, you got me fucked up. Like, you gonna ignore me? So I think that's why I can boldly. So you can do this, but you can't do that. However, people do need their time, and sometimes you don't want to talk to people. I've done that as well too. But it's nothing against you. I just can't talk right now. And then this is what I was going through. You know, let it out.
Exactly. So like I said, when you told me like that, I was like, you know, regardless of how I'm feeling, I can at least do that much. Like, I can at least send you a message saying, like, I'm going through it. I don't want to talk right now. Like, so few letters. I mean, a few words. Like, it takes 2 seconds. Like, I can do that much. So, yeah, I definitely got that from you. I don't know. I just feel like, again, communication is key, and
It
that's
is.
in any relationship. Like, and I don't think people realize that. They be feeling like, oh, I need to do this with my man or my girl. Like, make sure we're on good terms. Like, your friends should matter that much too.
Yeah.
Like, another thing I got from you is, yeah, I used to be like all in my relationships. When I say like all in, I mean like I ain't hanging with no friends. I ain't seeing nobody.
This
like
is my person. I'm with them. Y'all
Yeah.
don't exist no more.
exactly like I wasn't calling, texting, seeing nobody. Like just me and who I'm with. And then when me and that person would break up, I'd be like,
Hey y'all.
hey, yeah,
How you
like,
doing?
and I want to say she was the one who called me on that shit too. Like, bitch, no, you're not finna be just using me like when you single.
You know
like,
what though? I will say this because I have a lot of male friends and females. That is a female thing. Like more females do that than anything.
That's
For
cool.
real, for real. Because I've had another friend and she used to do that stuff all the time, and she actually lost friends because of it.
Yeah, like, cause there were, I won't say I lost friends, but it was always harder for me to like jump back in the loop. Like, I
Because
done
there's so
been
much you have to catch up
exactly
back up on.
like whether even if it's just like y'all hanging out, like y'all done got so used to me not coming that y'all ain't even extending the invite no more.
Yeah,
Like it's
because
like
you're
okay,
gonna decline it anyway.
exactly. But of course, like now that I was single, like it's like okay, y'all invite
Yeah,
me. I'm gonna come.
and not only that, I'll say this: I used to feel used, not by you personally, but like when people do that, it's like, oh, now you want to hit me up because your man's not around. Where I don't mind being the third wheel, like put me back. I don't mind doing that, or like just different settings, or keeping me up to date. Like even if it's good news, like hey, we just went to Belize, or something like that. But just you're kind of shunning me,
Yeah.
And then hey, I don't have him no more, or her. Let me come back around.
And just to put it out there, she said him and her because I'm very free spirited. I like what I like. So yeah, that's where him and her came from. Just so y'all know. But yeah, like I don't know. And it's crazy that again, I try to like not really exhibit traits that I don't want in return.
Yes.
However, I can honestly admit like me ignoring people was a trait that like I used to do, and I don't like being ignored. I be mad, like mad, like my feelings be hurt, all of that. But it is something I was doing, and again, like I'm big on like don't treat me how you don't want to be treated, because I'm going to reflect the energy you're giving to me.
Keep that same energy.
Exactly,
and
like,
I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah, exactly. So with that being said, it was also something like I had to like look at myself, like, and like I said, when we stopped talking, I stopped talking to a lot of different friends, and it was like, it really made me feel like, okay, bro, maybe it is me. Like,
but sometimes you have to do that. You know,
Yeah.
you really have to do that because sometimes it is you.
Yeah.
And okay, do I want this to continue happening? I can continue doing what I'm doing, or do I want to stop? So let me.
Yeah, and I really
something else.
like. I feel like even though it was me being stubborn or me not reaching out, even though I wanted to, I really gave myself time to really just get to know me and really just reflect on things that I was doing.
Yeah.
Work on things, like all of that. Let me be clear on the fact, because I am kind of saying a few things. I never feel like I was a bad person. It was just I had growing up to do. Like, I definitely, again, I always try to be there for my friends, and they know they can call on me if they need me, and I've always been like that.
I'll say this. I remember living in Heather Ridge. I'm just trying to like kind of point out the time. Madison was born, but she was a newborn. I remember reaching out to you like, hey, can I borrow $500? That's a large amount. That's a hella large. Like, I don't know if I could give that to anybody. But you were like, yeah. And I told you like it was going to be 3 days and I could pay you back or whatever. Not a lot of people will do that. And I've also wrote you a couple of times before, and I'm like, hey, I just want to let you know, let me give you your roses, your flowers right now while you're here. You definitely have a lot of good traits. We all do. But, of course, we all have flaws as well.
Exactly.
It's when you're willing to work on it for the people that you love, that shows like, hey, I really do love you.
Yeah.
Because in a relationship, dudes, y'all don't know how to communicate. And she said communication a whole bunch of times. But if I'm telling you, tell me. And then you start telling me, I'm like, oh, you're listening. You're trying.
Exactly. You're trying. Like, and sometimes we're not saying, like, you have to just change overnight. But when someone sees you're trying, it definitely, because me, if I see you trying, like.
That's a turn on.
Yes, it's a turn on. I'm probably going to just drop my whole attitude, like, all of that. Girl, and that's also something I had to work on, because there's a difference between someone trying to, like, get you in a good place and consistency. Yeah,
Consistency is key.
yeah, like that's something that I have to work on because I'm big on like, oh, you trying to like find a laundromat. And yeah, you can't be like that because sometimes it be just to like ease your mind a
Some
little
people
bit.
are just trying to rear you back in, you know. So yeah,
Exactly. So yeah, that's that. Also something I had to like. Something I had to work on. Like, nah, nigga, you don't have to show me.
But yeah, I was about to say, with you also saying you were going through so much, you don't always know a person, and you also always don't know what they're going through. I know that personally because even living in the same household, like I didn't know the person who was in that household, like you know, and so of course, like we were saying, we talk consistently. So I know everything, but I really didn't. So it's like okay, you have to kind of figure out what are people going through. Give them their time, their space, like you know, different things like that. Also, is there anything I can do for you? Um, just even with venting, like, hey, you want to vent, or do you want me to give you feedback?
Girl,
you know?
I'm big on that. I'm big on that. Like, I have a friend that, well, an ex, like, me and her were very similar. In the fact that like when we're going through something, we didn't always want to talk to someone. Like we shut down. Like we need to like be in our room by ourselves, like just letting our thoughts flow. People like either being around me or people hitting me up and talking to me, that shit used to irk me. Like it aggravates me. Like, and it's like where I'm trying to focus. I'm trying to like learn, process what's going on.
Yeah.
And one thing I did with her, like I knew she was going through something. Of course, I wanted to like reach out and check on her, but I didn't want to bug her. Because again, I know how that feels. Like, so what I ended up doing with her, I told her, I was like, you know what? Do you need me to come over? And she was like, no, I don't think I want to be around anybody. And I was like, you know what? How about this? I come over, I'll sit in the living room. Like, you can be in your room. I was like, if you need me, if you need someone to be there, I'll already be in your house. I just won't be in your space. Like, I was like, unless you need me to be. Like, and she was like, bro, that's perfect. Like, because you don't want to be by, like, sometimes you want somebody there, but you don't really want nobody there. Like, or maybe that's just me because I know I'm weird.
No.
But yeah, like, and when I came into the scenario, I was like, bro, that's what I be needing sometimes. Like, because I might have little glimpses of, like, I just need to be around somebody. And
shoot, you're not here. It's going to take you 30 minutes. By the time you get here, I'm not in that mood anymore.
Yeah, I don't even want to be around nobody anymore. So, I don't know, like, when I said that, it made me realize, again, something about myself. Like, that's what I be needing sometimes. Like, because I do have them little moments. And then, again, also just realizing, like, a lot of stuff isn't about you. Because, like,
very true.
A lot of people take things personally, like my daughter being one of them. I be having to tell her, like, sometimes she'll be talking to me and I'm like, just not right now. Like, just give me a second, just not right now. And she will take that personally.
Yeah.
And it's actually me trying to communicate the fact that I don't want to take this attitude
anger
that I have
you.
on you, and it's not towards you. That's me trying to communicate that. However, she feels like, oh, she don't want to be around me or she don't want to talk to me. And I had to really, like, sit her down, like, don't take everything personally.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it's really not about you. And that's actually, you know, where I was coming from with it. I'm trying not to get an attitude with you because you did nothing to me. Like, I just be needing some time sometimes.
Yeah. So sometimes it's not even you. It's just what the person's going through. You just have to be patient.
Be patient.
Because
ask,
they'll tell you.
Like, exactly. Like you said, you don't like being ignored. So sometimes instead of just assuming, like, this person's ignoring me, like, you can literally ask, like, are you ignoring me? Are you mad at me?
Oh,
like,
I do that now.
Yeah, like, are you ignoring me? Are you mad at me? Like, you got a problem? Like, you know, whatever the case is, like, just really asking them, talking about it. Like, I actually had a situation with my boyfriend the other day where he assumed something. He did ask me about it. However, before I even got out a sentence, like, I think I got out 2 words. He got mad and walked off. And I was like, nigga. Like, I was like, I'm answering you. Like, I was like, did you really walk out? And I'm like, yes. I mean, I guess it was his way of trying, like, to communicate. He did ask. However, he didn't wait around for an answer. Because he had already, like, assumed things. And, like, I remember my grandma used to say, like, assuming makes the ass out of you and me. Because, again, sometimes, like, people be assuming just off the wild ass shit.
Yeah.
And it don't even be that. Like, it don't even be that serious. Yeah. So, yeah, like, I feel like communication is key.
It
is.
Stick
by that because
I know you've probably seen this meme before, or maybe it wasn't a meme. It was just like a quote being posted a lot, and they were like, "Y'all cheating on people like it's not like it's rare. Like the real people is like so rare to come by. They were talking about it like in regards to relationships, but that's in regards to friendships too, because everybody like may have their own cliques or whatever the case is. So if you have a real, true, genuine friend, hold on to them while you can and treat them with the respect and all of that.
Exactly. Yeah. Like at the end of the day, like I feel like anybody that's there for you in your life, or whether it's again somebody for you to vent to, someone for you to either just be around, like even if it's like your club friend, like whatever you want to call it, like,
and know the roles.
Exactly, you definitely have to know the roles.
This is my club friend. This is not my vent to friend, because she's messy. She gonna run and tell the business.
Exactly, like, and if this is this is somebody you gossip with, like hey, don't tell them. I can't tell them my business. Yeah. Like, again, you can't be expecting like your club friend to be the friend that I need to ride somewhere during the day, like I need a job interview, right? Like
girl, we only go to the club. Exactly. It's 3:00 in the afternoon. Hit me up after 9.
Exactly. Like no, you just have to really know the roles of people, like because sometimes you set expectations for people that they don't hold that place in your life, or you don't hold that place in their life. Like, so you expecting them to do something that, like, I don't even look at you like that.
Yeah. Like, so you're setting expectations too high and you're going to get hurt yourself.
Exactly. So, and you'll end up being mad at someone for really just handling you for your role. Like,
so how about this? So pretty much, because we're about to have to wrap up, what would you say for people, one, going through a friendship breakup, and two, to avoid a friendship breakup?
Girl, it's going to go right to what I've been saying this whole time. Like, to avoid a friendship breakup, like, speak on how you feel. Like, communicate. Like, say how you feel. If they did something that bothered you, say that. Like, because I feel like you can lose valuable time with someone that could have been avoided just by talking it out. And again, like, men in friendship breakups, like, bro, don't let that shit go on a long time. We literally didn't talk for 2 years. Like, over something that really didn't hold as much weight as we probably initially felt like it did. So, don't let that much time go by. Like, swallow your pride. Like, stop being so stubborn and just talk about it. Yeah. Like, if it's really not meant for y'all to be friends, like, when y'all talk about it. And sometimes it's not, you know. Like, when y'all talk about it, y'all will realize that, and y'all might decide to go your separate ways, but just don't let it linger without y'all talking about it. So. Yeah.
I agree. I would say the same thing. Communication as well as breathing time, because if I'm at a 10 and talking to you, I'm going to be like, bitch. And I don't mean like bitch. I mean like, bitch. You know, then maybe that's not the right time for us to talk because I'm too heated and I don't want to disrespect you. Because a lot of times people, when you're upset, they'll go to disrespect or anything like that. So take your time, but don't let it take too long. Yeah. You know, I would say 3 days, like, kind of tops. Yeah. And then, hey, try to work it out. And it could even be like, hey, let's go out to eat, because you're probably not going to act like they do on Love and Hip Hop and be throwing bottles and stuff. Yeah, you'll probably actually talk.
Exactly.
So, I would definitely say.
Don't have too many drinks.
Yeah, that could be it, too. But, you know, sometimes that can be like, hey, let's relax it.
Sometimes it can, like, relax it. But, depending on how mad you may or may not be, it could escalate it, too. So,
but definitely, I'll say this, and not just with me, with people I've seen, it's the take too long. That's what I always see. People, it will be too long, and it's like, well, it's been 2-3 years. Ironically for us, it was 2 years, and I did reach out, and I was not knowing I did not know what to expect, and luckily it worked out, but it could have been like, bro, that friendship's dead now. Yeah. So luckily it worked out, but definitely communicate, and don't wait too long, and as well, don't speak when you're heated. Yeah. And yeah.
That's it for today.
All right, guys. Catch us on our next episode. Thank you for watching. Deuce, mudchuckers. I meant to actually do the little music at the end, but I forgot. Okay, so I think that went pretty well.
Yeah, I said it wasn't so bad.